So enlightenment is the very joy of being. It's not an overwhelming joy. It's not an intelligent joy. It's just a stifling. It's a grounding. It brings everything back down to that, what we were born as. Beautiful, pure, loving what we call children. Children of the universe, born into a planet full of love, full of wisdom, full of adoration for simply being here. Wouldn't it be nice if we could remember our first 3 years? But we do actually, you see, that's why we seek. We didn't seek into this adulthood, this information system. We happened to fall in. We happened to be part of the falling, you see. I remember a line in a movie. The movie was called About Time, and the main character, I don't remember names, with the red hair, his sister said once when she'd been drinking heavily and been driving and fell in an accident, and she said after her recovery, she pointing out that he was the good one, and that every now and then there has to be a faller, and that she was the faller. Meaning, she was chosen just to be that faller. So we're all chosen for particular reasons. You don't have to know. You just have to be yourself. You have to trust yourself. Everything's okay. And if you don't believe these words, go find yourself, go seek yourself, go look for yourself. It's a long, arduous journey to get out, or to get back into that childhood ways. Because most are followers. Most are those that happen to just fall into the trap of ego. In fact, most go willingly, because of their undying love and compassion and trust and faith in those that come before us, you see. As childs, we so much love our parents, we so much love our teachers, our doctors, our lawyers. We love everyone, you know, as children. And we trust them emphatically. And they don't do anything wrong, you see. They're not here to conspire against you and use you as a slave in society and all that stuff. They're here just to make sure that they follow the guidelines. The guidelines are stale, you see. They're old. They're done. They need to be burned, you see. The House of Lords documents and the Bible and all the stuff that keeps you attached to the past and keeps you living in the past and keeps you here in the past, instead of allowing ourselves to just be and grow and expand. Like our minds grow and expand. You see, our minds are growing and expanding, our bodies are growing and expanding. But the ego that keeps itself, I want to be here, I want to stay here, this is my house, this is my land, this is my place, this is my time on earth, I want to make it special, I'm going to do everything I possibly can for the good or the bad, just to be remembered. That's ego. That's not moving on, you see. That's holding back the joy. That's adulthood. So those who fell willingly, openly, into that clutches of ego, they're the ones who know, okay, I made a mistake. I am made a mistake, and I have to climb out now. I have to seek myself out. Ego is self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is ego trying to overcome itself, trying to see through itself, trying to negotiate with itself. And when the negotiation doesn't work, ego is destroyed for a period of time. We cannot live without ego in this world. We have given ourselves names. We have given our land identities and separation. And we have to see that separation is not the way to go. But you can only unite yourself with your pure joy. You are pure joy. You're born as pure joy, and you go through this shaker, like a blender. And then you say, well, shake yourself down. I have to come out of this blender now. It's time for me to be happy, be content, and be the child that I was. See everything for what it is. Child doesn't judge, doesn't prefer, doesn't analyze, doesn't know how to. Enlightenment is when you lose that mind. You chop that head off, and you don't know how to. You've no interest in the informative ways, that informational, systematic, how to do it. Let everyone else can do it. I'm quite happy. I'm quite content. And then you just look at people and you see their extraordinariness, their inspirational qualities in every human being. And you see the follows. They turn up at satsang every day. They turn up at your door. They look at you and they say, you're free, help me. But you're not a teacher, you see. When you start playing the teacher role, the master role, you start becoming that adult, that informative, even though you don't think you're giving information. All of these videos are given with freedom, they're given with love, they're given with adoration towards you, giving with whatever you need. Take what you want, destroy. Don't listen. Listen. It's your way. It's your way of seeing yourself. Forget about spirits, forget about angels, forget about God. Only consciousness is that what matters. And your consciousness, while you're in a body, you're consciousness. And you will experience yourself as consciousness. And you will experience everything as that same consciousness. A true enlightened being doesn't make separation even with consciousness. There's no cosmic consciousness. There's no transcendental consciousness. No human all one consciousness. Even the slug is the same consciousness as you. Even these pieces of dust that fly around are the same consciousness as this body. Life is all that it is. It's all the same life, all one life, all beautiful, joyful life. All wholeful, soulful, holy, pure, profound, tranquil life. No separation. That's enlightenment. No separation. Nothing is separate. The mind cannot even come in and say, well, what about this? Because the mind is no longer separate. The mind is speaking on behalf of itself as one whole thing. The body is speaking on behalf of itself as one whole thing. The spirit is speaking on behalf of itself as one whole thing. Because there's only one whole thing. There only is life. Conscious life. Life living life as itself. That's the most important discovery. That's what the child discovered when it's born. That's what you discovered when you were born. Wow, it's wonderful here. I love it. It's life. It's great. I exist. I love being here. I don't know what's going on. I don't care what's going on. It's just great to be alive. It's great to open my eyes and breathe and taste and touch and hear. It's great that my parents love me. It's great that people love me. It's great that people look at me and smile at me. It's great. Life is great. It's joyful. It's content. And all these states that arise from these minuscule, wonderful, actually all-encompassing states of just being happy, being content, being alive, are opposing states. They're negative states and positive states. They contradict each other, but they're the same state. Everything is born from life. Everything is born from I. Everything is born from joy. Everything is born from love. Consciousness and I together is the most beautiful partnership, the most beautiful relationship. It's the most harmonious way to live life, is just I and consciousness. And there's no separation because everything is consciousness. There's no separation because everyone uses I. Even the animals use I. It looks up, I see you. The lion, I want you. I and consciousness. So it's not about this I and consciousness, my own consciousness. It is about the whole thing. We're all one. We're all equal. We're all the same. We're all saints. We're all God. We're all consciousness. And we all come from the same idea, the same thought. We all come from that thought, love. And that's what really we're here to experience. Our own love. In every aspect, in every molecule, in every atom, in every human, in every moment, in every illness, in every suffering and pain moment. Many don't even get the opportunity to return to the child. Sadly, they take their life early, or their life is taken from them early. But I love old people because they become like that child. When they don't speak, they just look the same old child, free, joyful, happy, as though they've lived their life fully. Slightly wrinklier, but who gives a shit? It's life. That's what the speaker means with life as it is. It's life as a child. It's life as everything is seen as that beautiful child, that bird that flies freely, openly, that plays with the other bird, just giggling, chirping, laughing, like two children on the merry-go-round, on that roller coaster, screaming and laughing, hugging. What else is there to know about life? Else is there to know? What about God? What about God, yeah? When we see God as separate, we're seeing a blemish in life. We're seeing a blemish in God. We're seeing a blemish in consciousness. It's great to be alive. Even in the surgery, even in the moment this body went in to get this triple heart bypass, the last thing I remember is that anesthetic that makes you all giggly and laughy. And my wife, trying to hold back the tears. But knowing, wow, even in this, I'm going to experience something, even though I won't remember the experience. I'm going to experience so many people trying to save this life. And I'm going to be there fully, and I'm going to trust them, and I'm going to openly allow them to do their job, and I'm not going to live in fear. The child does not live in fear. Only the ego lives in fear. And we have to experience fear to overcome fear. So the object of ego is to give you a lesson. Pure, chaos, tragic, and all the states, failure, success, all that states in between, is the lesson. To say, you know what? Why did I take on board this information? Why did I take on board this mind, this quality? Why did I take on board the needs and desires to be something other than what I was? I was a great child, a pure child, a loving child. And that's what I aim to become. I don't aim to become some scientist, or some religious speaker, or some saint. I don't want to be remembered for that. I want to be remembered as a child. I want to be remembered for the one that sucked a thumb and just looked in amazement and awe at this wonderful world, this crazy, crazy, wonderful world of colours and shapes and nature that moves my body and my soul and my spirit every moment. Because now I am that child. I am that child. And that's all I know. As the bird looks in the window. I know. Thank you. We're one. I love you. Namaste.